Hey everyone, it's Ash from Cascade Fireworks and welcome to the vlog. Today I have my cotton candy facets hat that I have finished doing the actual knitting on my small gauge loom, and so this is about 16 inches long. I am doing a double layer knit, so I am going to take the bottom of this and tuck it up into here. It's going to go on these pegs as well, and then I will pick them off, cinch it shut, and then I will attach one of my removable pom-poms to it, and I'll show you that process as we're doing it. And just like that, I'm done. You know, I think that the textile that it made up, the material, is really nice. It's very cozy. I think it definitely gives you that extra layer that you need in the cold and everything. This one does not have a brim to it, but it is reversible, so if you like one side more than the other, you can definitely reverse it. And the pom-pom is removable. It was a little bit hard to get this one around. My fingers are a little achy today, but I did just use a little fake fur pom-pom here that I got off of Amazon, and this is one of the single layers that you can kind of see in comparison. You know, they're the same, and this one is definitely warmer than this one. I can feel just like with my hand on it. I do wish I would have made it just a smidgen longer. This one was 16 inches in total, which then hypothetically was going to make an 8-inch beanie, and I'm guessing this one must just be like 8.5 inches. If you put them side by side, it's just a little tiny bit longer, and I think that's what I needed. So I think next time I'll probably go with like 18 inches instead of 16 inches. But you can see the comparison there. I think it's really nice hat. It fits on Sheila perfectly. For me, I want it just a little bit longer. I like it when my ears are completely covered, and this one is just a little short on me, but I think it turned out great. I like it a lot. The only thing that I was really nervous about is all the haloing that's happened on it, because it's taking me so long to do this hat. But overall, I think it came out nice. What do you think? This one is called Cotton Candy, and I do have some extra, so I might do another hat in the future, but we're kind of like making our way through this whole facets collection, so I do have more. So you will see more of these beautiful gradients in the future. Today I'm probably going to keep working on my super long loom knit scarf. It's supposed to be about 8 feet, and we're over halfway there, so I think that's just kind of what I'm going to work on today. My shoulder is killing me, so I'm going to take a break from crochet, and we'll just kind of go from there. everyone, so I have been working on this scarf for like freaking ever. I need to get to about 81 inches, and I have currently and officially hit 60 inches. Watch. Don't mind Winnie. Whoop.
Damn.
It's so long. Only need like, you know, forever more to go, but it has great stretch to it. Like just jiggling it, it's getting wider. It's about 24 inches wide and officially 60 inches long.
Whoop whoop. Hey guys, so today is Wednesday and we got our premiere shipment in. If you remember, Ash started this sweet sloth and ran out of yarn. So we did put in another yarn order with Premiere, and this one came quicker than the last one actually, which was great. What we realized is one skein of this is just not enough for very much. Like if you look at the sloth, you know, all of these darker brown parts, that was a full skein, and so it's just not a lot of yarn, and it's like $4.99 each, and so we wanted to get more of the colors that we already have and then colors that we thought we would use. So we bought another coral. We have one of those already. This is the hibiscus pink, almond butter, and this is the teddy bear. So this one is the same color as the sloth, bubble gum, and this is another teddy bear, just in case for the sloth. Sometimes you need a little bit of white. It's called cardinal. So I think she's planning on doing something with mushrooms. I think that's why she got the white and the red, and then we have an oyster color. So we'll have to wait and see. I don't have really a preference with the plush yarn. I don't use a whole lot of plush yarn right now. I've been mostly kind of working on like bigger projects that are taking a while, and it's not like plushies, so I haven't really used very much of the plush yarn lately. Ash has been making adorable plushies though, and so she's been on a roll with the plushies. We got an order for a Mothman hat today, so she's probably going to be switching modes to work on the Mothman hat, and that's exciting. We took a look at the yarn that we have in our bins. So if you can see behind us, we have yarn. We have lots of yarn. All the yarn. So we took a look in our bins, and we're kind of trying to find the yarn for that we prefer for the Mothman hats and the hats that are on the loom. And it's called Charisma, and we've had, I don't know what to call it really, but we've had kind of like crap luck at the black Charisma. So if you remember in one of our vlogs, we talked about like a yarn smell, and we washed the hat once it was done, and we tried to get that smell out, and it's like almost like a burning smell. And now after a while, like the hat doesn't smell so strong, but like nobody wants to mail something that smells like that, you know, especially like how do you mail something and be like, yeah, just leave it in a room for a while and it'll stop smelling, you know, like we don't want to do that. So that hat is my hat now, right? And it doesn't smell so bad anymore, but the second skein of black Charisma also had that smell, and I'm sure that we bought them at the same time from the same Michaels, and they're probably, you know, they were probably on the same shipment and everything, and so I don't know what happened, but it's just a gross smell. And so we're using a different option right now. We're gonna see if we like it, and we might talk about it. I'm not really sure. It's not like a yarn that we would typically get. It's but yeah, so it looks almost identical to Charisma, and I'm hoping it behaves the same way and everything, but we're just sort of disappointed in Michaels and in Charisma. And I know I've said some things about Michaels, but it's like, that's really the only place now in town to get yarn, you know, is like Michaels, since Joann's is gone, and we kind of rely on them to have yarn that we can use for our orders. So I'm a little disappointed. It is what it is, you know. I don't have like the receipt for me to like take it back and cry about it or anything, but we looked online because we were like, we'll just go get another one, and they're sold out in all of the stores around us, not just the closest one, but literally within 50 miles around us, they're sold out. And I can order it, but I can't order it in bulk. And so, yeah, I'm not really sure what to think about that. I'm not really sure what to even do with this yarn. You know, how many black stinky hats can I wear? So it's kind of a bummer. But anyway, so we might be switching to Premier for some other yarn too. I haven't used this yarn myself, but it is very soft, and I don't love that the balls are so much smaller than, like, if you were to buy a Sweet Snuggles Light, it's probably twice this size, and it's like what, $9.99 or something like that, you know, and this is $4.99, and it's half the size, and then you have to order it and pay for shipping. So, but you know, if we can't find what we need at Michael's, then there's not a whole lot of options left besides ordering online. So, you know, this yarn stuff is all experimental and everything. I'd really like to try Hobie, but I have the same, like, issue of I want to touch it, and I don't want to have to wait on them to ship it. Like, you know, that's why we don't really buy a lot from Premier. I know that I like a few brands from Premier, and so it's not as much of a risk to get those specific things. Like the Everyday line is like anti-pilling, and it feels nice, and so I would recommend those for sure. I think that their cotton is very similar to like Lily Sugar and Cream, except it's not 100% cotton. It's like 5% something else, which I don't love, but it is what it is. But yeah, so if you have yarn that you like, I mean, we're always trying to find like nice yarn, you know what I mean? So I would love recommendations. If you know, like, there's a great anti-pilling yarn line, like, let me know about it. I'll click on your links, I don't care. Alright, so this is one of the big projects that I mentioned. It is not a portable project. It is really hard to take it with me anywhere to work on, and I'm doing sleeves. So sleeves by themselves, you know, would be easier to take, but it started out as a sleeveless vest, and it's hooded, and I was following a pattern, and then I decided that I wanted to add sleeves because it's a little too warm to wear it as like a sleeveless vest. It's more like I'm using acrylic yarn, and if you know, you know, but like there's a reason why summer clothes are made in cotton. And so acrylic yarn is just warm, and it was just too warm to feel like a nice, like, light vest. And so it was like, if it's warm enough to wear this, then it'll, like, I need sleeves. So anyway, it has a hood, it has this, it's like kind of the crochet version of ribbing, and I'm still working on the first sleeve. So I'm gonna work on this a little bit and just kind of chat, and we'll go from there. What I'm doing on this is I think it's called the Suzette stitch. I'm not 100% sure, but the body, it does get turned, and so you make your initial chains, and then in the first stitch you do a double crochet and a single crochet, and then you skip one and you do the same thing until the end, and so it makes a really cool stitch. I think it's pretty, and then when you turn it, it adds like an extra texture, like if you can see this texture, and I just think it's like nicer on like bigger projects than just like a solid stitch that all looks the same, like all double crochet or all single crochet, whatever. So on the sleeves it looks a little bit different because I'm not turning, I'm just doing rounds, and I'm not turning. I could turn if I wanted to, but when I started making it, it was just like, it's such a big project, and like already having to like rotate it to go around the sleeve is a lot, and so I don't want to also have to turn it, and so it's gonna have like a little bit different texture than the body, and I'm okay with that. Like, I don't mind that. So what I noticed is that the sleeves are taking so much longer than the body did, actually. I don't know why, but it feels that way. Maybe it's just like how big and bulky it is to like turn it, keep rotating it. Maybe that's why it feels that way, but it just sort of seems like it's taking forever to get this sleeve done. But I think it's gonna look really nice when it's done, so it is what it is. This is what I've been slowly working on. Literally, I've had this in the works for like months at this point. And then I've also been working on sewing in the ends on my scrap scarf, my rainbow, like rainbow ombre scrap scarf. And that project has actually been pretty fun. Just like trying to line everything up and choose the different colors that I have and like make do with the yarn that we have, because I didn't want to buy any sort of yarn for that project because it is really a scrap project. It was really to eat up some of our yarn scrap, and we go through a lot of yarn so we end up with a lot of scraps. And yeah, I really like it so far. I'll probably show it again once I have all of the ends in, and then we'll kind of like probably do a little tutorial on like the stitch combinations after it's completed, because I do like the way that like the texture worked up with the stitches. I think that's really cool. And I'd also like to do some other like textured scarves. I think like a tulip stitch scarf would be really cool, especially like for early spring. We're getting there slowly. Groundhog Day is coming up, and with the weather that some people have gotten lately, I don't think he's safe. I don't think he's safe. So this year I'm like thirsty for spring. Like, I'm so thirsty for spring. I feel like I need sun so bad, and every spring I get a little manic. Yeah, I definitely have like seasonal affective disorder where like the winter months are just really hard, and I'm happiest in spring. You know, we live in the Midwest, and there's just this smell in the air during spring, like this cold smell. It's hard to describe, but it's like a cold, damp smell. And like, I'm just so thirsty for it. I'm so desperate for it. Like, maybe I'm vitamin D deficient at this point. Like, who isn't though, right? I mean, winter is so dreary. But we've had our potato seeds in their starting tray for a while now, and they look so good. The Walla Walla, I don't know what I did. I don't know if they just hate me. I don't know if the seeds were old or what, but I bought Walla Walla seeds this year. This is my first time trying like onions from seed. Yeah, so the ruby red onions are doing really good. The Tokyo long bunching onions are doing really good. But for the Walla Wallas, only like, what, 2 or 3 actually germinated. And they're all literally in the same the same environment, the same tray. And I don't know what it is. So like online it says to give them the full 2 weeks, and then, you know, if they're not up in the 2 weeks, then to try different seeds. So we're gonna try that. Try new seeds. I ordered seeds. This time I ordered from M.I. Gardener. I'm pretty sure that's what they're called. So I watch their YouTube channel a lot, and I thought, like, let's just see what they have, you know? They do a really good job, like, with their seed packets, and there's a lot of people who have really good reviews and things to say about them, so I was like, if they have what I want, then I'll just order it from them. So I'm also ordering fennel seeds. We've never tried like fennel before. I know that the seeds have like a specific sort of taste, but I'm mostly hoping for the bulbs, like to try the bulbs for the first time. I don't like fennel as a seasoning, like as an herb. There are some reasons that people use fennel specifically, but I just don't find the taste like appealing at all. It's probably just me, but I'm really curious about the bulb part, because it's supposed to taste like a mix of like an onion and celery, and can replace onion in like soups and stews and things. And so I really like onions. I really like using onions, and I don't think it would replace onions for me, especially since it's not going to store as well, but I'd like to try it still. So I ordered fennel seeds, and then we're also going to try black beans this year, and let's see, black beans, and then I ordered some peas, 2 different types of peas, and usually I get snow peas, and my dog Loki loved to eat snow peas with me in the garden. They have like a really sweet flavor, and when you pick them young, like they're really tender and you can just eat them fresh. But she's no longer with us, and so I wasn't going to grow peas at all. And then it was like, you know, I like to eat, you know, shelled peas, and my sister is like pregnant with her first baby, and peas are kind of one of those like first foods that babies eat. And so I was kind of like reluctantly like, okay, I guess we'll still grow peas. But we have like a fence that goes through the yard, and it's the perfect place to put like a green bean or a pea. So it's like we should grow one or the other. I don't really like green beans. We'll eat canned green beans, but it's just not something that I like, so it doesn't make me very motivated to grow them. I'll eat peas. I like peas, so you know, we'll go with that. The black beans that I ordered are like a bush bean, and so they don't need a trellis, so we'll put peas on the fence as a trellis and just let them come up the fence like last year. And I tried to get ones that don't like don't stop production so early because of the heat, like more heat tolerant varieties. We have a really weird like microclimate where we're at, because we're sort of in this on this hill. We have this weird situation where we get a lot of sun in one specific part of our yard, and there's like no sun anywhere else. And so but the day is like shorter. It takes a long time for the sun to reach us, and so so it's like everything gets like very little sun at first in the springtime, and then in the summer it's like intense sun. And so it's kind of like a learning experience right now. Like last year our garden was really lovely. I had a great time. I worked so hard in the garden that I literally couldn't walk. I apparently have like some sort of hip impingement, I guess, and that's what like the doctor said when they made me get an x-ray. And I didn't end up like doing the treatment that they wanted to do. I just sort of put it off and then ended up canceling it. And so it's something that I'm gonna have to still like be aware of and be careful of like moving forward, but I just don't want to do any of that stuff right now. Like the last thing I want right now is to be like poked and have to go to like the hospital for a shot. Like that's the last thing I want right now. I just want to have flowers. So hopefully some of our friends and family will help a little bit with weeding, and we're gonna grow a lot of peppers, and hopefully we also get to do some experiments. We're gonna grow marigolds, and I really want to try using marigolds and natural dyes to dye wool, and then, you know, make fun stuff for our friends and family with the wool. So I will eventually have to put in an order of wool, and I found a shop that does like mini skeins, and the mini skeins that I had before that were dyed by Ashley's mom and her friend, they're like the perfect size. Two of them made really nice ear warmers, and it worked out really well. And so I'm hoping to find something like that where it's like I can make something small, you know, with like two of them or whatever, and then it'll just be like a nice like gift. So I'd really like to do that. And then you can do the same thing with onion skins. So one of the varieties of onions that we're going to try to grow is ruby red, so it will have red skins. And so then when we go to use these onions, we can keep the skins and like hold on to the skin until we have enough, and then I can dye yarn with it. So that's something that I would like to try too. So marigold works really well, I've heard, and then you can even use like avocado skins in pits. You can use sage and rosemary. You can use all kinds of things as like natural dyes, and I am so excited to experiment with that. You can do like turmeric, you can do goldenrod. I mean, like there's just really a lot of natural options, and I think that that's really cool. We can't have the sheep, but we can at least like dye some of our yarn. I think it's really, really fun to experiment with different things like that, and just like learn about different aspects of your fiber, because, you know, have you ever thought about how your yarn has ended up this color? When you learn about like the processing and dyeing process of yarn, some of it's really ugly, you know, to be honest. And I really want to get to a point where I can make myself some clothing with natural fibers. So I run pretty warm, and so sweaters are pretty like hard for me to wear, but like cotton, like you could do like cotton as a sweater too, not just in the summer. But so I'm in the process right now of also making myself a top out of cotton, because I can't stop starting projects apparently. But I've started that, and I've seen a few other like pictures that I'll use as inspiration, or maybe just even use the patterns and make myself a few things. But I really, really would like to have some natural fiber garments that I've made for myself. I think that that's my goal this year, is to make myself a few different tops. Yeah. So in other news, we are having some difficulty getting our Nintendo 64 and PS2 to work, which is like soul crushing if you like retro games. And so we've been kind of like looking at other options. You know, I don't really play games, The only game that I really like is Ocarina of Time on the Nintendo 64. But to be honest, I would rather watch. I've never really loved video games. I played World of Warcraft for like a long time. A long time. Like I can remember like missing college to play some of the expansions. But I just have never really liked games on consoles. Like, I don't know why, but using the controllers is just like, it feels foreign to me and just isn't fun. And so I don't mind watching video games. I like to play Mario Kart. That's probably really the only thing that I enjoy like playing like regularly. So anyway, Ash has decided, after kind of like looking at different options and what games are available, on getting a Switch. And what's really cool is that you can have like a Nintendo account for however much a year, and then they have retro games that are made to be able to download on your Switch to play. So like a lot of the games that that Ash liked, you know, that we have on like PS2 and Nintendo and things like that, are available on the Switch. And that was kind of like a game changer, you know what I mean? To realize like you can still have these games, these nostalgic games that you really like, in a system that may be a little bit more like modern, I guess, like reliable, heavy duty, I don't know, like we can always get it fixed. There's only so much you can do to those retro consoles, you know, because you have to get other parts from other machines because they don't make them anymore, and that's the challenge. And I don't know if you've looked at retro game prices, but they're pretty much the same as new prices, so it's like, might as well. And yeah, and so we've been looking at different games. If you have any like really cool game suggestions for the Switch, like I would love to hear that too.
For the first Switch, not Switch 2.
Yeah, so not Nintendo Switch 2, just like Nintendo Switch. So we would love like opinions and stuff like that. There's obviously some that we kind of have our eye on. Like what's your top?
I am stoked about the Spyro. It comes with 3 games on one, and it's pretty affordable, used for $20. And then Crash Bandicoot also has a trilogy game that comes with, and both of those are remastered for the first at least 2 games and everything, so they'll be cooler and more crisp and have more details, and it's like it doesn't lose the essence of what I truly loved in Crash Bandicoot or Spyro. Like it just makes it even better, so I'm really excited about those. And then
Spyro looked great. We watched gameplay for Spyro, and it is like reimagined, and it looks great.
And then for the expansion pack, they have Banjo-Kazooie, Banjo-Tooie, and I play those all the time. Those are my favorite. And they also do have GoldenEye 007, which is a really hard 64 game to find, and I have it, but you know, it's cool that you also have that option to play that as well. They also have Mario N64, which is freaking cool, and we all probably remember playing that game at some point in our lives if you were a 64 player. I am bummed though, because like you don't get the PlayStation 2 games that I really love, like Jak and Daxter. You don't really get that chance at that, and so I was really surprised that Spyro was accessible. Well, at least, but at least for the $50 expansion pack, you get access to those older games, and you get access to the N64, regular Nintendo, Sega Genesis, and you actually download the app itself, not the game. So you download the app for the 64, and then you get access to all the games that are on it, and so that's pretty neat.
Yeah.
And so you don't have to run out immediately and go buy more games, because you actually have access to the games that you previously already were used to.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Which Zelda game that is the one that I'm like, ooh?
That's the Zelda Breath of the Wild.
No, it's the Hyrule one, Warriors of Hyrule, but there's like different games, Warriors of Hyrule. I don't know which specific one it is.
That's the one, that specific game is the Warriors of Hyrule.
Okay, so
and then they have the Kingdom of Tears or whatever, and those, the Breath of the Wild and Kingdom of Tears, like they look like crazy expansive worlds for sure, and they are advertised that way. People say you can go forever and you don't have to immediately go beat anybody. You can go just twiddle around and explore the world and stuff, which is a different type of gameplay, you know.
Yeah. So that's exciting, and you know, just like something else to do and something to think about. Like winter is kind of sucky because we're kind of stuck inside, you know, and it's not like in Canada where it's like extra cold, or like New York where you get, you know, 9 feet of snow all at once or anything, but it's just cold and it lingers, and at a certain point, like, it's not fun to go walk. Like, we love going to the Lordson Gardens and the Omaha Dorley Zoo and everything like that, and it's just cold, you know. And even if you drive somewhere and find somewhere like indoors to walk, it's just like being in the car is cold. It's just cold and wet, and I really hate winter. And so it's just like another thing to do and have and focus on, and wait for spring and wait for the good things to come back, the hummingbirds and the flowers, you know. I've heard that scarlet runner beans attract hummingbirds like crazy, and so I did buy a couple of those seeds. I'm not sure. I'm hoping like it'll crawl up a tree rather than like have to trellis it, just because like I don't have a 12-foot tall trellis. I have 12-foot tall trees, but I don't have a 12-foot tall trellis. So we're gonna try some of those, and I really enjoy being outside and being in the yard and stuff. So we're just waiting. It's like a waiting game, and I don't know if any of you have been to like Seattle and gone to Pierogi, but man, once in a while they'll have like a pre-order where you can order your treats off their menu, and then they send it to one of the breweries here in the area, and you just go pick it up. And it's like chilled, and you have to put it in the microwave for a little bit. But oh my goodness, we got these hazelnut rolls. They were so good. They were so good. So we tried the hazelnut rolls and the apple cinnamon roll, and then the beef and cheddar pierogi. And oh my goodness, when we were in Seattle and like going through the market and stuff, we didn't get a chance to try pierogi. Every time we were in there, in that area, it was like packed, and that's a good sign and everything, you know, but it was just like kind of overwhelming to try to get to. And so that was like a serious like foodcation, and we tried like the humbao, and we tried Beecher's mac and cheese, and one of the beautiful pastry shops. But we didn't get to try pierogi, and it's like one of those things that's like how could you not try pierogi while you're there, you know? So when I saw that it was in the area, or going to be in the area, I was like, wow, that's so cool. And I don't know if y'all have seen Omaha lately, but when you walk through our downtown area, like, it's so apparent that Omaha is like moving towards being like kind of like Seattle light. And it's really weird because this is like the reddest state. It's not like the reddest state, but it's very red, and we have like this little blue dot city, and it feels so much better than Louisiana, like, let me tell you. But I really like Omaha. Omaha is really kind of like up and coming, and there's a lot of good things coming in the area, so we're just enjoying, you know, the things that we can enjoy. What are you doing? I'm going to continue working on this. It is probably going to take me forever, Yeah. And we're just kind of gonna call it a night, I think, and just chill and work on our little projects. Ash has a hat to make for our order, so next vlog we'll probably have like the packaging, you know, part of it. And we'll see you next time.